Okay, parents and students and all other school stakeholders, we shall be starting our virtual event now. So thank you for your attendance. So good evening to Kun Calvin, Chairman of the School Governing Board, Head of School Dr. Ong, SMT members, guests from Crimson and Ignite, parents and students. Welcome to the virtual meet of SISB Schools University Pathway, and thank you for your attendance. As you can see from the poster in front of you, this will be the schedule for today's virtual meet. So for parents and students, please take note. If you have any questions that you would like to ask about university counseling, please feel free to type your question into the chat box, and we will be addressing these questions during the Q&A session at the end of the our counseling session. Okay, and you can start doing so right now, and so that we have your questions that we will be receiving from you. Thank you. So I think next. So the objectives of today's virtual are as follow. So first, we hope to allow you to understand how the school provide career guidance support to our SISB primary and sixth form students. We will also be explaining how the school is going to support our sixth form students in their university application process. And lastly, we want to introduce our new initiative to all of you parents and students. And we want to introduce our partners, Crimson and Ignite, and how they can support our students to enhance their university application process. So I would like first to invite our chairman of the school governing board, Kun Calvin, to give his opening address. Kun Calvin, please. Thank you.
Good evening, students, parents, teachers, and staff. I'm glad to be able to have this opportunity to greet all of you in this online session. As most of you are aware, SISB is looking forward to welcome our students back to school physically very soon. That said, I'm still very grateful that today's technology is able to bring us together during this time. So I would like to open this session by saying that since SISB establishment in 2001, and this is SISB 20 years anniversary, we have always continued to maintain our mission to educate our students to be a responsible global citizen, a leader, and a scholar. We have our education pathway from our nursery kindergarten using the UK Early Year Foundation curriculum. Primary school using the Singapore curriculum, which lay a great foundation for our sixth form, which is benchmarked with Cambridge IGCSE, A-level, and the IB diploma program. To ensure that you, students, are able to reach your maximum potential as you are inspired to be. So far, we have 7 years of graduating classes from 2015 to 2021. And I'm delighted to see many of our graduates from SISB have successfully been accepted to university all over the world and in Thailand. This year, we have a record number of 48 students going to graduate from our class 2022. Our team always continue to explore the best program in the school, not only enhance on our curriculum, teaching and learning, but also ensure a holistic development of each of our students. For tonight's session, we are proud to announce our partnership with Crimson and Ignite to provide guidance for our high school students applying to the universities. Upon a few counseling sessions, I was so happy to hear that 3 of our students have been qualified to apply to the Oxford and Cambridge, and other 14 students are qualified to apply for medical courses in Thailand University. I wish the class of 2022 all the best as they apply for the university of their dreams. As SISB share our university pathway tonight, let me bring you back to one of our students from graduating class 2017 PIM. And he followed his dream to one of the most prestigious university in US, which is the UC Berkeley. Please.
UC Berkeley, or University of California, Berkeley, is ranked among the top 3 best public universities in the world for hundreds of years now. It is known for its academic rigorous and also in computer science. And that's what I will be studying. So I was born in Chiang Mai and I lived here for roughly 14 years of my life. After that, I moved to Bangkok and started studying at SISB Pachaotit campus. At SISB, I finished A-levels and then I go to the community college. After 2 to 3 years at community college, I got accepted to UC Berkeley to study computer science over there, which is what I've been dreaming of. University of California, Berkeley is a very competitive university to get into, since it's one of the top public universities in the world. SISB is part of my success because it has prepared me well in English, maths, and sciences. Especially in maths, I feel that SISB really provided me and taught me well in mathematics. And when I moved to the US to study, I was ahead in my class in the math courses. Teachers over here really helped me to adjust to my new environment and provide me a lot of hands-on experiments for me to understand hard concepts and explain hard concepts in a way that make it easier to digest. And most importantly, it has taught me how to think and to be independent. Because of this, I feel like I can be able to pursue my dreams and that my dream is in my reach. I really like the environment at SISB. All of my friends are really nice people and they are really helpful. The same as the teachers. The teachers are helpful and really there to help you when you struggle. Moreover, I also like the landscape and how the campus looks. It really makes me want to study, and because of its quietness, I can study very well over there.
Okay, thank you to Kun Calvin. Next, I would like to invite Dr. Ong again for his address on the PCCG program, the Pastoral Care and Career Guidance Program, and how this program actually enhances students' opportunities and chances of applying to universities within Thailand and overseas. And I will pass on now to Dr. Ong, please.
Okay, a very good evening, first of all, to our CEO, Kun Calvin, to my colleagues, to the parents and teachers, as well as students from SISB School, and of course to our 2 guest presenters from Ignite and Crimson. A very, very good evening to you. All right, it's my pleasure to share with you a few thoughts as we prepare you for the main point of this virtual event, which is on pathways to the universities. Slide first. Slide. Now, I'm sure parents, teachers, of course, we all know. For parents and students, you probably have seen this many times in your classroom, in the school compound. These are guiding statements for SISB, and they are very, very important. So I want to make use of this and link how these guiding statements lead and guide us to prepare our students for their university career as well. Motto of the school, you are very familiar. Spirit of excellence have been there since we started school 2001. School values have also been there. Later on, I'll just say a few words about this. Independent, respect, resilience, and responsibility. Now, there's school mission. All right, school mission is what we have introduced, formulated to various discussion and feedback from parents, teachers, and school leaders. Our school mission is to be a world-class school that provides the students with holistic education to make the world a better place. All right, the key words here: world-class school, holistic education, make the world a better place. Holistic education is provided in the SISB school through various programs, the chief of which will be our ECAs, our co-curricular activities, our local education program to different parts of Thailand, our overseas education program to different countries in the world, and of course, our leadership training program, such as the International Award, which is the Duke of Edinburgh Award for grade 8 students and older students. And this particular leadership program and training is of great importance for people who are applying to top universities in the world. And of course, all our students and teachers are also involved in community, corporate social responsibility to the community. All right, so I won't belabor all this because guiding statements are important for any organization, and for our school, it gives us very clear direction of what we are working towards. All right, next slide, please. The next slide, I think this again, you will see this framework, this colorful framework very often. We have already used this in sixth form for a number of years. So you will see this, and I'm going to just share with you some of the thoughts on this. This is our pastoral care and career guidance program. Look at I want you to take a look at the diagram here, okay? All right, PCCG, look at the framework. I've chosen 5 colors. These are familiar 5 colors. They are the 5 colors of our different 5 houses in SISB. Now, this was PCCG, Pastoral Care Career Guidance, was first introduced to SISB school when I first joined in 2017. One very important aspect of PCCG is the vocational guidance. All right, can you see there in the picture? Vocational guidance, which I will elaborate as we go along in this presentation. In fact, all the other elements or aspects of the program all will in the end congregate and point to this all-important aspect of our PCCG vocational guidance. Now, first from 2017, we also set up the Careers, Opportunities and Guidance Unit in SISB, comprising of guidance counselors and selected key teachers from local and renowned overseas universities. This unit with a group of teachers is there to guide our students in their university application and choice of careers. Secondly, from 2017, we launched the Pathways to Success series of talks. And then again in 2018, 19, and then in recent years, we featured prominent Thai graduates from local and overseas universities sharing their success stories. You heard of one earlier on, one of our recent graduate, and they were able to share their successes in their university. What are the courses they studied during school, in their school life, from MK right through to the sixth form, and of course their choice of careers. And some of them are very successful now in medicine, in engineering, in the sciences, in business, in economics, in management, and so on. And they also represent presentation, okay? And recently, we also included presentations from top universities of the world, all over Singapore, the Yale University, from Australia, Canada, and many local top universities as well. Now, in our PCCG program, there is a continuum. What is a continuum? That means there is a continual process, all right, which begins. Now, don't get the wrong idea. Vocational guidance or preparing students for university doesn't start only at sixth form. It starts from NK, our nursery and kindergarten, right through to grade 12, which are related to the students' ultimate choice of their pathways to the university as they graduate from SISB. Take, for example, let me explain to you this continuous process. In the nursery and kindergarten, although the students are young, 2 to 5 years old or 6, simple ideas on occupation, we don't even use the word occupation. Sometimes we just tell them work, your daddy's work, your mommy's work, jobs, careers are taught to our young students, showing them how it is related to what they are learning in school and how they are related to themselves. Each one of them are unique and they have different interests. So we start from the NK, and from the NK, as they graduate and move on to our primary, age about 6 or so, right through to about 11, 12. In the primary section, more details about their developing interests, the world of work, careers, under the vocational guidance aspect of our PCCG program is then shared with them. So we prepare them, and there's an increase in complexity with the issues they have to grapple with, and these are covered through our PCCG program under vocational guidance, all right? Then they move on from primary to the sixth form. They will be around age of maybe some early ones, will be younger one will be 11, mostly 12, 13, and so on. In the sixth form, we give a full treatment of what vocational guidance is all about. Vocational guidance, remember, incorporates students' choice of subjects, what they're studying, even in the whilst they are with us, the sixth form, their future courses of study, their university options, the types of career they are interested in, then about the importance of testimonial, and very, very important, how to write their own personal statement and prepare for interviews for application to different universities. These are all taught to our students by our COG group mentioned earlier. This has been possible because our PCCG program, it involves what you call a spiral curriculum. It gets from simple to get moderate, complex, and then get very complicated, but still the student can manage that. A spiral curriculum is taught in every section of the school. I repeat, from NK right through to grade 12. And from simplicity to complex issues, a student moves from one section to another and from one level to another. The PCCG we offer in our school also helps students to focus on core values. You can see the core values of the school is in the center of this program, this diagram. You can see this chart here has 3 concentric circles. Core values, very important, central. The second circle consists of self, themselves, their friends in their classroom and classmates, schoolmates, and then move on to family, to community, to the world, second. And then thirdly, the third circle involves all the 5 key areas that we deliver to our program on self-awareness, their personal skills. Okay, they develop, first of course, self-awareness, learn what are their strengths, their weaknesses. Personal skill, they learn about many different skills, how to make decisions, how to manage their time, study skills, etc. All right. Interpersonal relationship, very important. Okay, how they relate to their friends, to their family, and then also moving on to boy-girl relationships, setting up family, marriage, becoming family, fathers and mothers and grandparents and so on. And then, of course, well-being. Their well-being is very important. Here we teach them well-being, safeguarding, how to protect themselves and so on and so forth, how to lead a healthy lifestyle, how to keep away from negative influences. Okay, I'm not here to talk about all this, but there are a lot of things like that, but now I want us to focus. However, the most important aspect of PCCG program is to help our students understand what vocational guidance is all about. I've chosen this term vocational guidance. Of course, you can also use career guidance, but that's our generic name for the program. Vocational guidance is chosen because it covers a wider range of profession, of jobs, from blue collar right to white collar, from the lowest you can think of a job, maybe a custodian or whatever, right through to becoming a prime minister of the country. So that is the full range that we will tackle. So that's why we have chosen vocational guidance. All right. And here, as you can see, here we in the vocational guidance here include in our program, teaching our students, sharing out what is local and global citizenship, how to be a good citizen if you're Thai, national of Thailand or of the country that they come from, and how to be a global citizen, which is also in the vision we have set for our students. Then they learn the progression of education from NK to primary and sixth form. They see how different aspects of university education and of the future work they'll be involved in being shared with them in every level of their education, and leading them to ultimately apply for university application, which is the mainstay of this program today. Of course, along the way, we have counseling, character development being embedded in our program, because they need to develop these good qualities, good leadership qualities, good character attribute, so that when they apply for university, they will be selected, they will be chosen, and not only just chosen for university, ultimately when in the world of work, they will become very successful. And of course, we cannot run away from career guidance and the world of work, which form a lot of the curriculum materials in our PCCG program under vocational guidance. Okay, and over the last 4 years, I would like to share with parents. I think earlier on you have heard CEO mention from the word start 2001, we have concentrated on producing scholars, leaders, and so on. And over the years, helping them to become good citizens in the country and become global citizens, develop international mindedness. Okay, and over the 4 years, okay, the recent 4 years that I have been in the school, this is my 5th year, I can state this without blinking my eye, that no student is denied a place in the university, either in the local university or overseas universities. These students have worked with them over the past 4 years in my career. Depending on their choice of university, they will get a place. They choose local or overseas. After they graduate from our sixth form in our campus, currently in PU, we have the full sixth form. This is the success of our sixth form, where we do not have failures taking our international exams such as IGCSE, the AS A-level, and soon the IBDP by the end of this academic year. Our record shows that our students from SISB, we want to trace back because we have 20 years history. There are some students, in the early days where we don't have the sixth form, some students leave the primary and so on, they've been more, and some of them have also become very successful because of the foundation we have laid. But of course, in recent years, you have heard from CEO, and later on we'll hear a few more, that we have students who have gone on to King's College, to well-known US University, Canadian, Australia, Singapore University, Tsinghua, and so on in recent years, even in the top university in China, and to top local universities, just to name a few, Chulalongkorn, Mahidol, Temasek, and so on. Okay, a whole list. We have provided good guidance and counseling to our students through our PCCG department, headed by a very big team and a key leader, Mr. Bose, David Bose, who is our assistant principal. In fact, in SISB, all school leaders, principal, vice principal, everyone is involved in the PCCG, because this is a very, very important program that brings out the total holistic education for students. And of course, I mentioned earlier, my committee, the Careers Opportunity Guidance team of career counselors and other teachers from a variety of universities from Thailand and overseas will help to provide guidance to our students. This year, we have further reinforced our home team of COG the unit, the careers opportunity guidance, with additional counselors in the person of Dr. Salita and Raphael and so on, together with the other teachers that have been serving. Most important of all is that SISB has now engaged the team from our partners, Crimson and Ignite Education Company, to help all our students so that our students can be further guided to apply to even greater range of local and international university. I think that we have reached a state where of maturity, and because of the number, when I first joined the school, there was less than one class of graduating students. Now we have 6 classes, 3 in grade 11, 3 in grade 12. And that's why I'm very glad CEO has now brought in external partners to work alongside with us to reinforce what we can provide our students. Thank you very much for your attention.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Ong. Thank you. So I will now be sharing on our career guidance team, and followed by our career guidance support that we provide to our sixth form school. So this is the organizational chart for the sixth form career guidance team. So as you can see that it is headed by Assistant Principal David Bowles, and I'm playing an advisory role. And we have a team of university counselors together with the university counselor mentors to provide the support to our students in terms of framing their university pathway plans, and also in terms of editing and helping students with their personal statements, as well as to build up their portfolio. Okay, next. So as parents, you can see that as Dr. mentioned, for class of 2019 to 2021, the last few years, no student has been denied a place in university. And that is very important. At SISB school, we make sure that no student will be left behind. And as you can see here, 100% of students have been offered places, whether is it in universities in Thailand or whether is it in universities overseas. And these are just some examples of universities that students go to in local universities and overseas university. Next. This is the university offers for the class of 2021. Despite the COVID-19 challenges, despite the cancellation of the Cambridge and the IB examination, right? I would say that I'm very proud of my students, because every student got an offer into the university, and you can see that the offers comes from different regions from around the world. And this signals to us that our students are equipped with the necessary skills to prepare themselves for university level, and at the same time, they are also welcomed by universities from around the world. And that is very, very important. Next. So this is a very key part. I think parents, you would like to know more about the sixth form career guidance program. And I would say that the sixth form career guidance program is divided into several stages along the way, right? During their journey with us in the sixth form school. At grade 7 and 8, we help students discover their individual strength through the weekly PCCG lesson and the co-curricular activities that we organize for them. So they are expected to contribute to the community through the CSR, the Corporate Social Responsibility Program, and through the Community Involvement Program during the local educational program and the overseas educational program. And then they will then be able to use these self-awareness skills or knowledge to further explore their different career pathway at grade 9. And then at grade 10, they can then apply their interest into practical use. And at grade 10, they go into internship after their Cambridge IGCSE examination. So parents, you might be asking, what about grade 11 and 12, right? So at grade 11 and 12, especially at grade 11, with the set of interests that the students have developed in and the achievements that they have built up in the academic and the non-academic areas, they are ready to apply for universities. And this is where they work very closely with our university counselors and our university counselor partners, Crimson and Ignite, to explore their university option. So by grade 12, they are really able to just touch up on their personal statements and their portfolios and be ready to apply for universities. And so to conclude, next, I would say that the journey through the sixth form school will equip students with the necessary materials to write a personal story. And this personal stories is very useful and very important when the students apply for universities. Why? Because they need to write a personal statement. And through the journey in SISB, they will be equipped with the necessary materials, the necessary achievements, the necessary leadership qualities to include all this into the personal statements. Next. And this year, we are very pleased to announce that we have a new initiative. And this initiative comes in the form of partnership with Crimson, who will be in charge of helping our students with the overseas application process, and Ignite, who will be in charge of helping our students in both the medical and the local Thai university process. I will invite first from Crimson co-founder CEO, Mr. Jamie, to share about how Crimson can further enhance SISB students' opportunities in applying for overseas university. Next. And
fantastic. Thank you so much, Jason, and it's great to be with you today. I'll speak briefly about Crimson, and then I'll be happy to answer any questions about the kind of support we provide for students. I'm just going to, can you see these slides quite clearly?
Yes, Jamie, I can see it.
Wonderful. Okay, awesome. So first of all, in launching Crimson, my aspiration was to guide ambitious students to be equipped to compete and thrive on the world stage, not only in their local country, but also in any global pathway they aspired to go for. So quickly on Crimson and my personal background, I grew up in New Zealand as an international student, just like many of you are thinking about international universities. Initially, I was thinking about domestic universities in my home country, but I shifted my focus when I was 14 and applied to a wide variety of US schools and UK schools like Harvard, Yale, Princeton, Stanford, Columbia, Wharton, and Cambridge, and fortunately got into these schools. I then went to work for a hedge fund called Tiger, where I'm actually calling you from today. And then I went to Harvard for my undergrad and master's degree, as well as Stanford for my MBA and master's in education. And most recently have been doing a Rhodes Scholarship at Oxford. So I've seen kind of Harvard, Stanford, and Oxford up close and personal, and have really played an active role in guiding a significant number of students to these different institutions. Now, in my experience going through the university application process, students usually have to navigate a huge number of essays in a relatively short time period. In the last year of high school, you have many different academic challenges, but you've got to carve out enough time to really write some insightful essays about your personality, what makes you unique for these various universities. You've got to make a lot of strategic decisions. Which school are you going to apply to for early decision, which is the binding application process to the US? Which schools will you apply to for early action, perhaps? How will you think about dual degrees and these other considerations? I also found that I didn't have enough assistance. And the fantastic thing about this school and the community that you have assembled around you is the real support the school is committed to giving to students to make sure they are equipped to apply to the most amazing universities in the world. I also was very unclear how to translate my extracurriculars into a good US application narrative. And then finally, I was unsure about references as well. So that's kind of where I led to creating Crimson. So today, Crimson's really seen as the world leader in providing guidance for ambitious international students like you to get into these global universities. We have about 450 full-time staff and several thousand tutors and mentors. So almost any question you have about undergraduate admissions, or even your aspirations beyond your undergrad degree, our team is well equipped to advise. We'll be working closely with the school to make sure that students are getting access to these powerful insights. And we do have our staff, in all these different parts around the world, from London to San Francisco, but also in places like Korea, Singapore, and other geographies. Sometimes students from Thailand want to go to as well. Many of our team come from these top institutions. Folks like Ismar from Stanford and Harvard, Dan, who's an Oxford expert, George from Harvard, just as some examples of our team. The way our service usually works is the student is right in the center of our application. And then we really give them a strategy consultant, somebody like me that can advise on, which universities they could apply for, what extracurriculars they may want to do, what areas to focus on in their interests and other, academic courses outside of school. We can provide subject test tutoring for all of the relevant subjects, whether it be the SAT or the ACT, or whether it be entrance exams for the UK, whether you want research help with a professor to work with you on a research paper. We also guide you through the application essay process with mentors that can help you with ideating essays, giving feedback on essays, and sharing insights about particular universities to help you craft a more unique application. We also provide extracurricular and leadership coaching to help you find different opportunities locally as well as internationally online that you can take to boost your profile. And a good example of this is our upcoming internship program with Uber, PricewaterhouseCoopers, and KPMG, where our Crimson students are able to actually get a high school internship with these amazing institutions and do it online. And that will be open to students from the school as well. Now, this is kind of a funny photo, but inside Crimson, we actually have this thing called Slack. And this is a snapshot from earlier this year when the admissions results were coming out. And you can see our team just getting so excited as the students are getting into these different schools. You can see, for example, students getting into UPenn, Duke, Stanford, students getting into Dartmouth and other Ivy League schools, and this kind of rolling list of admissions coming through. So we are seeing this very global lens of ambitious kids all over the world and the kind of profiles you need to be competitive at different schools. So use us as a big resource for you as you think about this journey. Now, Crimson has really partnered with a number of the world's most prestigious institutions, and it's a real honor for us to partner with SISB and to be your partner in the university counseling process. In particular, in our partnership, we are focusing on top university admissions to the US, UK, Australia, as well as Singapore and other geographies like this, extracurricular and activity development, helping you with your leadership projects, helping you with career discovery, and also different things like study methods and time management. So you can expect from us the same level of rigorous support that our students would be expecting or encountering in other parts of the world, whether they be, for example, in New York or in the middle of Shanghai. And also all students will get access to our Crimson app, which is our technology platform in which you can message and interact with our team, but also other Crimson students around the world in case you want to do projects with students in different countries. You'll also have access to our Crimson Hub, which is our video platform that has more than 1,000 videos about these different top universities, which you can use to learn more about what schools will actually be a good fit for you. And also webinars on a weekly basis where you can hear from expert college admissions folks like myself and other people from different pathways and backgrounds to help both answer your direct questions and also spark your curiosity. As far as results, you can be very comfortable you're in safe hands with Crimson, because over the last 8 years, we've established ourselves as the world leader in terms of college admissions with a really strong track record, getting students into these top universities at about 4 times the admissions rate of general applicants to the same institutions. We've sent about 370 students to the Ivy League now, and about 133 students to Oxford and Cambridge, as well as more than 2,000 to top 50 US universities. And we have folks like US News who are actually our partner. So this slide shows some of the different results. I'll quickly finish by describing 2 of my students that I've personally worked with through Crimson over the last little while and what they're up to now. This first student is Zong. He worked with Crimson and he wanted to challenge himself academically, so he used Crimson to take some additional subjects. He then received some different academic awards like Premier Scholarship within his country. He developed a passion for mechanical engineering, and he ended up getting into Caltech, one of the world's top engineering schools, as well as Duke University on a full scholarship. From there, he actually went to work for NASA, which is the space organization in America, as well as Waymo, which is Google's autonomous driving unit. So if you're really interested in the future of cars, driverless cars, that's what he was working on, which is pretty amazing. He then actually worked at Tesla, and now he's at MIT doing his master's degree. It's just an amazing example of a very talented young man who wanted to pursue his passion in mechanical engineering and is now doing that in the middle of Silicon Valley. For those of you who are aspiring entrepreneurs in the room who want to think about launching your own company in the future, this is one of my students called Sumil Singh. Sumil came to us when he was about 15, and we taught him some computer science online, as well as a number of additional A-level subjects, helped coach him on his leadership aspirations, and he ended up becoming the head of the student government, as well as the Dux or valedictorian of his high school. From there, he was able to score top in the world in some different subjects, get into Harvard, Stanford, and 3 other Ivy League schools, Stanford not being Ivy League, but 3 Ivy League schools, as well as Harvard. He then got into Bridgewater, the world's biggest hedge fund, where he worked as a technology associate. And recently he's raised $2 million at the age of 23 to launch his first company called 2 Cents, which Crimson's actually an investor in, alongside some notable Silicon Valley investors. So this is a good example of a boy who's really worked hard academically, and over the course of 5 or 6 years has really seen this phenomenal career trajectory, which I really aspire and hope many of you can follow. Our students regularly make international headlines in places like the New York Times, Times Magazine, etc. And we're really excited to be part of this innovative journey for you all going forward. We also have, for example, a really exciting YouTube channel, which you can check out. It's the biggest channel in the world for college admissions, some really funny content. There's a classmate of mine from Harvard who's a comedian who runs the channel. So it is about college admissions, but there's some good, funny content as well. And there's plenty of other resources on our website that you can use too. So with that, I'll stop presenting and I'll be happy to take any questions. And I'm really honored to be working with your school.
Thank you, Jamie. Thank you so much. Right. So I think starting from this year, as I explained to parents and students, we are starting a new initiative. And so for those students who are applying overseas, they will be working with our counseling team together with the strategists and the mentors from Crimson to work on their university application process. So next, I would like to invite Kun Tan from Ignite. She is also the co-founder for Ignite to share with students and parents for those who wants to apply to local universities and medical schools, how Ignite and SISB school will work closely together to enhance our students' opportunities. Thank you. So Kun Tan, can you, I pass on to you now. Thank you, Kun Tan.
Thank you, Mrs. Jason. Would you please stop sharing slide and I can share mine?
Kun Tan, I can see your slide now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you see it like clearly? I'm sorry for that.
Okay, can you share your slide now?
Sorry. Okay, I can share now. Okay. Can you see the slide?
Yes, I can see it now.
Okay. Okay. So let's start. Good evening, everyone. First of all, thank you very much for having me today. My name is Tan or Pornpimon, Head of Product and Co-founder of Ignite Education. Today's agenda is to give you a brief overview of what we have done, our success, and what we will support SISB students at the partner of the school. Ignite, our institution, specialized in preparation for Thai universities, international programs, and medical schools on TCAS Round 1. We have, in 2021, we have supported more than 700 students to be admitted to their goal faculties. And one of our missions is to collaborate with schools to leverage our students' potential to their fullest with our range of our expertise in tutoring, guidance, and activities. And to elaborate on Thailand's admission system, there are 4 rounds for TCAS. And TCAS Round 1, or the so-called portfolio round, is the main focus for the international school students, where the requirements normally are grades, scores from international standardized tests, and portfolio. It is the only round that requires a test score that is fully conducted in English, and it is the earliest round, so it's really important for SISB students to be prepared for this round. And when it comes to our track record for the TCAS Round 1, We are the #1 in the number of successful students admitted into Thailand's top-notch medical and dental schools. This year, 250 Ignite students were offered seats out of total 460 seats, which is more than 50%. And for some for some programs such as the Med Engineering of Ramathibodi, Ignite students can take 85% of the seats, which is pretty high. And not only medical schools that are in our focus, but we also foster students to be admitted to School of Engineering, Science, Arts, Social Science in the leading international program in Thailand as well. In the red graph on the top are the track record of the School of Engineering and Science with 280 successful students. And in the yellow ones are for the arts and social science with more than 240 students. And these are some of the faces of our students here. And you can see that all the records guarantee that we have the expertise, experience, and insightful information to guide the students to their dream faculty. The distinctive and the different point of Ignite compared to other institutions is that we are not only providing the best quality of tutoring sessions, but we also providing a wide range of activities, both academic and soft skill, and we call it pathway to success. The first step in the pathway is to join individual counseling and planning sessions where they will get the information they need together with that unique plan of preparation for their goal. And secondly, we provide academic activities consisting of bootcamp, mock exam, and portfolio and interview workshop. These activities enhance students' academic profile together with maximize the performance on their real test dates to get their desired score. And we also conduct other non-academic activities such as company visit, case competitions for business students, and manner skill workshop for the students who aim for the dentistry program. These extra activities not only develop the uniqueness of the students' portfolio, but also give them a chance to self-explorations, whether the goal truly fit them or not. And to summarize, all the activities in the pathway to success were created to help students reach their success as like its name. So this is the end of the overview of Ignite. Next, I will talk about the collaboration between SISB and Ignite. So in this academic year, SISB counseling team will work closely with Ignite to provide SISB students the consultation services for Thai University's international program admission. Based on each student will, we will offer 3 services supporting all their needs for admission, which are the medical preparation, the BASI preparation, which for the student who would like to apply for the Faculty of Arts and Science in Integrated Innovation of Chulalongkorn University. And the last but not least, other fields preparation such as engineering, business, arts, or social science. These are the 4 areas that a counseling team will take care of, which are strategic planning, portfolio, interview, and other regular updates. For strategic planning, the students will have individual development plans. The counseling team together with students will plan for the student profile enhancement and plan for the test-taking date. And then we'll create a timeline and document checklist to make sure that everything will be smoothly done on time. Next is the portfolio preparation. Each faculty and each program requires different types and different characteristics of the students. Students will be needed to prepare an outstanding portfolio that fits with their dream faculty needs. To help the student with this, we will give advice on portfolio creation, recommend the content and presentation format, and give feedback for revision to students. And the interview, it is very crucial process for some faculty especially for the medical program and bursary. Some programs will cut like 50% of eligible candidates through the interview round. So students are needed to be very, very well prepared. And to escalate the readiness and lessen the nervousness of students, we will do the mock interview to imitate the real situation, the real questions that students will face on the interview day. And lastly, SISB counseling team and Ignite will work closely to update any changes or deadline and follow up the progress of the student in order to ensure that everyone on track and no one will be left behind. We Ignite believe that all students has their own potential and everyone can be the best version of themselves. And we also believe that with a good collaboration between schools, parents, and Ignite, we can support our students, our children, to be in the best pathway, leading them to find and to be the best version of them. And that brings the presentation to the end. Thank you for your precious time. I'm so honored to be here today. Thank you,ค่ะ.
Thank you so much, Kun Tan from Ignite. Thank you. And thank you so much to our other guest speaker, Jamie. So now we will move on to the Q&A session, right? So the first question, I see this, many of the parents asking this question, right? So do the students or the parents have to pay additional for the services of Crimson and Ignite? I just have this to say because I shared this earlier, right? At SISB school, no student will be left behind. And this is always our philosophy. And whether you are applying to medical, whether you are applying to the other Thai universities, whether you are applying overseas, we will do our best to support each and every student. And that's why we have we have explored many options. And this year we have decided to work with Crimson and Ignite, both for overseas and local university application. And as long as you are an SISB student, once you move into the sixth form school, right, you will be working with these partners with no additional cost. This is a complimentary counseling support that we provide to all our students in the sixth form school. And some parents may be asking why, because we want to really, facilitate or support each and every student to enter into their choice university. And that is very important. And the next question is that some parents are asking whether, because last year we started with the first IB diploma program cohort, our grade 11. So there are parents out there who thinks that, we are shifting towards the IB curriculum and neglecting the Cambridge. And that is not true because, so the key question here is, why did we decide to also introduce the IB diploma program? We decide to do that because we want another high school avenue for students wanting to be more holistic in the education to choose that pathway. But however, we have provided the same support for our A-level students as well. So again, like I emphasized, no student will be left behind. If you want to choose the academic pathway, if you think that you do not like the service learning component or the other extended essay and all that, the IB component, you are able to choose the AS and the A-level, the Cambridge track at high school. But if you want to challenge yourself a bit more and you want to do more subjects, go for the IB diploma program. And we are one of the very few schools in Bangkok, parents, you can check, that offers the dual track. So our students are actually very lucky because at the end of grade 10, they get to choose. They get to choose whether to go to the Cambridge AS A-level track or they get to choose the IB diploma program track. And another question by parents is that, are the two tracks able to support the students' entry into university? I say that regardless of doing Cambridge or the IB diploma program, both tracks will allow students equal opportunities to go into the good universities. And I have another question, and this question goes out to Crimson, right? Maybe Jamie, you are in the best position to answer this. And my first question is that for anyone who likes, sorry, how would you recommend for students under the UK curriculum to cover some US AP courses requirement? So Jamie, I pass on this to you.
So when I applied to Cambridge, I only applied using A-level exams. The first thing is a lot of the students that we send to Cambridge and Oxford, only have A-levels. You can, however, take AP subjects as a way to further boost your candidacy. So one of my students, for example, Nathaniel Masfinyen, he recently got into Cambridge and Stanford, and he took a range of A-levels as well as 4 extra AP subjects. So if you can get really strong grades in your A-levels, that's the first priority. If you're struggling with the academics there and you're not getting, say, A's or A stars, then don't worry about the APs. But if you're finding the A-levels quite, solid, quite achievable, and you want to further boost your candidacy, you could look at some specific APs that perhaps you haven't taken at the A-levels, like AP Computer Science. You could also just take more A-levels, but in short, it's not necessary. But for the top skills, it can enhance your candidacy, and so whether or not you do it is a function of how you're currently performing.
Thanks, Jamie. Another question, right, for Jamie. And Jamie, I think this question, again, you are in the best position to advise the parents, because I know that for Crimson, they actually did a research on the chances of IB students getting into the Ivy, League universities. I read this report from Crimson that was published a few years ago. So the next question from parents is that is IB do IB students have a better advantage of getting into the Ivy League? Yeah, Jamie.
So it's definitely true that having either the International Baccalaureate or A-levels is a big advantage over your domestic qualifications when applying for these top universities. So students from an IB background or an A-level background have a qualification that's widely understood by the top universities. The problem with applying with a national qualification in, say, Thailand or New Zealand or something, is it's less well understood by these top universities. So in a nutshell, whether or not you choose A-levels or IB is more a function of which of these qualifications you're going to perform better in. So there are some students who will enjoy the IB because it will benefit their breadth, and it will give them the flexibility to take, for example, language or theory of knowledge and extended essay and some of the different dynamics of the IB diploma. But other students don't want that breadth. They just want to focus on, say, math and science. And so for those students, the A-levels can work quite well. So in a nutshell, it is more important to evaluate which of these two curriculum you will perform better in personally, and we definitely can help with this. But both put you in good stead, and we send a significant number of our students from A-level and IB backgrounds to the Ivy League. That's our most common type of student.
Okay, thanks, Jamie. And another question from parents is that I assume that this question comes from a grade 12 parent, right? Is it too late to apply for Oxbridge, Jamie? Because I understand that Oxbridge, their application actually closes 15th of October. So maybe you would like to provide some advice on this question?
I mean, the deadline is in 2 weeks, so it would be, it's definitely a tight time frame. I would say what we could quickly do is evaluate your profile and see whether it seems like you have a competitive shot. We definitely, within 2 weeks, I mean, of course, it will be quick work. So you'd have to, make sure you're really willing to work fast. But as long as you are, we could probably support an application within a 2-week period. But for those of you on the call, I wouldn't say it's generally advisable to apply within this tight window, but it is possible, and we'd be happy to help evaluate if that makes sense, and then support you in this kind of 2-week sprint to apply. But we have to be very decisive. So please reach out and we can look at it today or tomorrow.
Okay, thanks, Jamie. The next question goes to Kuntan from Ignite. Kuntan, I think a parent asked, what is BASAI? Maybe you'd like to explain more about the innovation program provided by Chulalongkorn University.
Yes, all right. This faculty is quite a new faculty in Chulalongkorn University. Actually, it's brand new one. It's mixed between business and technology, And the objective of this faculty is that to build a new startup in Thailand. Actually, they aim that before the student graduated and in their fourth year, they have to build some startup by their own. They have to go pitching and find an investor by their own. So it's quite like very new and very interesting for the student and parents. So it's quite popular. And this faculty need very strictly look in the portfolio and interview. So many of the students who want to join the faculty have to find some place to help them do the portfolio and interview for entering to the Basai. So I hope that will answer your questions.
Okay, thank you, Kuntan. Another question from parents, right? Can you explain how students, Ignite would be able to support our grade 12 students to apply, to the international program of Thai University? Maybe Kuntan, you would like to touch on the general portfolio, I guess, yeah.
Okay, I have to explain that for international school students, actually the grade 12 will graduated in like July next year, but they have to apply for the university this year. It's quite a tense process, I have to say that, because it's have different timeline between Thai and international school. So actually the round one that I have mentioned before will start on this December. Some of the university in international program in Thailand will start collect all the resume or the application on this December for the early admission stage. And again, when it will be on the February that you can apply again. So I have to say for grade 12 student, you have to start now, and we Ignite with the counseling team of SISB. We try to we already set the meeting with all the grade 12 students. I think like next week and upcoming after next week, we will talk with the student in grade 12 one by one and make sure that all the plan, they will know all the plan, and they know what they have to do after this, and we will prepare all the things like all the requirement. We will tell them all the requirements of the portfolio, all the timeline, and make sure that everyone on the same page, and everyone, like Jason said, like no one will be left behind, of course, with Ignite and SISB collaboration.
Okay, the next, thank you, Kuntan. The next question goes to Jamie, right? Jamie, I think parents, I have seen a few questions here. Parents are asking how best to prepare students at an early age if their vision is to apply to the Ivy League. Jamie.
So the first thing is when you're applying to the top US universities, they look at your application over the last 4 years of high school, from age 14 to age 18. What this means is that actually from as early as age 10, 11, 12, 13, you can actually begin preparing on this journey. And you want to think about, developing your portfolio over the 4 years of high school. So that means you can do extracurriculars when you're in grade 9. It means you can be looking at summer programs for each of the different summers to build your portfolio. It means you can be looking to create clubs and launch initiatives very early on in high school. Additionally, you can think about taking different subjects at a earlier age than normal, because that helps you to take a higher number of subjects and potentially boost your profile. So, in my case, I took 10 A levels, which sounds obviously very high, but I took them over many years and staggered them out. So depending on your aspirations, you may want to, we can help you develop a bespoke curriculum plan that, meets the requirements of the school, but also, gives you the opportunity to stretch and challenge yourself academically and recommend the right programs for you too. So essentially the answer to this question is you want to start as early as possible. And also you want to test different major interests and career interests early. So then you can build your candidacy around 1 or 2 main themes.
Thank you, Jamie. Right. So another question that I think parents, you are asking, right? How often do the students meet their counselors? I would say that for parents asking this question, first, it always starts off with our SISB University counseling team. When they meet up with the students, they understand that the students, their choice of universities. So for those who are going to overseas, they will ask first the students to list down the universities that they plan to go to. For example, like if they choose UK, they were, because UK, they are allowed to apply for 5 universities, but of course we ask them to list down their choice of universities. And from there, then we will then work with Crimson with their strategies to look at how viable or whether these universities are within their reach. And like what Kun Calvin mentioned just now, like this year alone, we have 3 students that Crimson have identified that they are eligible to apply to Cambridge and Oxford. And that is very important because we need to maximize the potential of everyone. So I would say that for Crimson, those applying overseas, they will be meeting up, I would say 6 sessions with the strategies and 6 sessions with the mentor. And for the Ignite, for those applying to the medical schools, Ignite will help the medical students to prepare to apply to 3 medical schools with their portfolio. But even then, with this series of portfolio, they can then apply to the different medical schools as well. And even for the Basai and for the general portfolio, they will first meet up with the strategists, followed by the mentors, and the mentors will work very closely with our university counseling team. So this is an entire package that we hope can maximize the chances of students going into their choice of university. And when I say the choice of university, right, parents, it means that those that students have picked, right? And next question that I see is that what kind of support, okay, Kun Tan, what kind of support does Ignite provide non-Thai students to apply for local universities?
Okay, we have to say that it's the same with the Thai, and we can do it in English for you. So we have the team, the counselor in Ignite that can speak fluently in English. So we will do our best to take care every single student in SISB, no matter like they are Thai or non-Thai. And I have to say that we focusing on international program in Thailand. So actually, your children can apply for this too, because they are all conducted in English, except for some medical schools that learning in Thai. So we can talk in details, and we can help your children as well. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Kun Tan. Next question is that how many teachers, will be supporting our SISB students through their university pathway? I would say that one, because just now I have shared the organizational chart with all of you, right? We have a team of university counselors, so they act like the first tier, which is the strategies, and they work with Crimson and Ignite to first map out a plan for the university pathway of our students. And then next, they will then work with our teacher mentor, our counseling team teacher mentor, depending on which region they want to go into. And so I would say that for every mentor, they are only working with maximum of 4 students. So it's really personalized. And for Ignite and Crimson, I would say that every strategist from Crimson, for example, they are working on a one-to-one basis. Every mentor from Crimson, they are also working on a one-to-one basis. Similarly for Ignite, it is the same, right? I think over the course of the last few weeks, we have students applying to Chula Medical, and Ignite counselors, and together with our counselors, they actually meet up with our students on a one-to-one basis. But let me tell parents and students, right, in case you misunderstood why sometimes your child has to stay up late, for example, until 9 p.m. because for Crimson, their counselors are in US, in UK, and so sometimes the counseling sessions will be at 9 p.m. And similarly for Ignite, because we find that over the week, during the weekends, it is the most suitable time. So sometimes your child may have to meet up with the Ignite counselors during weekends. Okay, what if another question, right? I don't know whether this is from our students or parents. Jamie, right? This is to you, Crimson. Because over the course of many years, right, you would have seen different students with different abilities. How would you advise students whose grades are not so good, but they still want to apply to US and UK university? Is this still a viable route for them?
Yes, we of course work with a wide variety of students from different academic backgrounds. And our goal is to help you find a top university that really suits your potential skills, abilities, and ambitions. And so although I speak a lot about these really competitive schools because they're the most challenging to get into, every year we also send students to a variety of other institutions across the US and UK that offer a lot of good things as well. So it's about really understanding your current academics and also how much you can improve them. Often if we explain to you, what you need to do to improve your profile, you're often quite motivated to put in a bit more work, get a bit higher grades, that kind of thing. But we do support a lot of students to a wide range of US and UK schools. So just bring your academic grades to us and we can help you evaluate what's possible.
Thanks, Jamie. And another question, I will first pose this question to Jamie and then to Kuntan, right? Are there scholarships offered by US and UK universities that students can, explore during this COVID situation? Yeah.
So just to clarify, did you ask, are there scholarships available during this COVID dynamic?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. So I can speak in a US-UK context to start with. So basically, when you apply to these top US and UK universities, the US universities have great financial aid, and they do a financial aid for international students, particularly at the more competitive ones. It hasn't grown because of COVID, so there isn't COVID-specific financial aid in general. But if COVID has affected your financial status, then on the application, you will actually get more aid because it has affected you in that way. So the financial aid basically gives you grants based on your family's income and assets in general. And so a COVID impact on your, say, business, let's say you run a hotel and it's not really doing very well right now, that will then lower your income, that kind of thing.
Thanks, Jamie. So parents, if you're concerned that, with the COVID situation, the US, UK universities will be reducing the number of scholarships, it is the opposite, like what Jamie mentioned, right? And we will be working very closely with our students in this area as well. And next to Kuntan as well, and again, parents ask during this period or even after COVID, are there any options in terms of scholarship that Thai, students applying to Thai universities, they can explore?
Yes, of course. Have to say, like, in the different faculty, they have the different policy of scholarship. For example, for International School of Engineering, Chulalongkorn University, actually they give like 5 to 10 students who got like the highest score when applied to their faculty. Like if you got like SAT score, very high SAT score, very high of IELTS score for like 5 to 10 in the top, you will receive a scholarship automatically. Like they will offer you that scholarship. So if you can do like excellence in your academic, will have the chance. Or SIIT is another faculty that give a lot of scholarship. So if one of you guys want to explore about the scholarship, you can talk to our counselor, like which faculty you want to go, which university you want to go, and we will give you an information scholarship later.
Okay, thanks, Kuntan. And the very last question, because I think we are running late, right? So I will wrap up the whole session by answering the last question, right? And the last question is that I think I see from here, parents and students are wondering at what stage would they be working with Crimson and Ignite? And like I said earlier, right? Your career guidance journey starts from primary to the sixth form school. And at grade 7 all the way to grade 10, you are preparing the necessary portfolio that will equip you with the highest chances of going to your choice university. And then after that, at grade 11 and 12, you will work together with our university counselors, Ignite and Crimson, to apply to the universities. So it means that at grade 11 and 12, you will be working with Ignite and Crimson, but from 7 to 10, we will be guiding you to ensure that you have the necessary talent, activities, achievements to be able to support your choice universities. Okay, so and to parents who are asking, do we also support application to other universities? Of course, because as I have shown, we have students going to Tsinghua, going to Hong Kong universities, going to universities from around the world. Like I said, to conclude, in SISB school, no student will be left behind. No students will be deprived of a chance to maximize their potential. And this is very important. And that is why this year we have started a new initiative to enhance our students' prospect into entering to their choice university. And that is very important. And lastly, I want to also advertise to all parents, right? I hope you find this session very informative. We will be organizing more seminars like this, but it will be more detailed because this session is basically a more general, a more broad frame kind of seminar. We do not want to bore you with many details, right? So parents, subsequently for the next few months, we will be organizing seminars or events on applying to UK, US. And so for students, parents wanting to apply to UK, US, go for that seminar. And we will also be organizing seminars to apply to top medical schools in Thailand. Parents, please go to attend this seminar. And we will also be organizing events to apply to universities, let's say in China, in around the world. Please go for this seminar. So there is actually a seminar for everybody to cater to the needs of everyone, right? We have to wrap this up now. But before I wrap this up, I would like to thank everyone. Kun Calvin, Chairman of our School Governing Board, Dr. Ong, Head of School, SMT members, parents, students, teachers, and of course, we are very lucky today to have with us two guest speakers. Jamie, thank you so much from Crimson, right? Kun Tan from Ignite, again, you have offered very valuable advice. And so thank you so much. We look forward to subsequent seminars, from Ignite, from Crimson, and from SISB School, and together we strive for excellence. So with that, thank you so much. Thank you, and I see all of you. Bye-bye.